Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd, and we're going to take a look at the markets like we usually do, and then take a look at some of the global countries. Look at Germany, Russia, India, and China tonight. Quick look at those indices. Then we're going to look at Baidu, CTRP, SINA, and then talk about two trade ideas on Twitter and First Solar. Okay, all right, we start off here with the Dow. The Dow was down 153 points today, closing back below the 10-day exponential moving average. It's the only one of the 5 indices that I'm looking at, and that's closed back below the 10. It's interesting. I'm still holding this number 4 here, fourth wave that I'm calling it. Let me get rid of the crosshairs. This fourth wave pullback. We got within 10 points of overlapping wave 1, so it's very, very close call. Wave 1 ended right here. It's a lot clearer when I look at 30-minute charts, 60-minute charts, 10-minute charts of the Dow, that type of thing. But this did not overlap, and then it turned back down. The interesting thing here, the thing that really surprised me with this move is that it actually became, number one, I didn't expect it to be a large zigzag pullback, because this was a pretty sharp zigzag type pullback on an intraday basis. But what ended up happening, there's no rule that says just because you zigzag here, you can't have a zigzag here. The rule of alternation is if this is short and quick, that this should be more complex, and it definitely was. It actually turned into a double zigzag, and it actually ended up being a lot longer. I mean, this was a quick, within one day, actually less than a day, I think, in terms of number of hours, and this ended up being 4.5 days from down here, where 3 bottomed. So it's, I do think there's a good chance that this is over. We'll turn back down, where we're going to continue to watch the waves, continue to see if we get movement down here. If we continue to get movement to the downside, my targets actually would be between 16,179 down here and 15,855 or 885. And actually, I'm leaning more towards that one just because that's a closer retest of the low. So we get back down into this slightly below 16 area. But again, we'll have to just watch to see how is the trade during the day, the wave count's coming down, and whether we get follow through here. Let's see, S&P 500, again, a little bit of a reversal bar. Closed back below the 21, but is still sitting above the 10. New York Composite, very similar picture. And the pullback intraday here, pretty close to this bottom in here, or this double top area where we broke down through. NASDAQ definitely was one of the stronger, again, in terms of the snapback and pulling above the August low. But again, we've also got this reversal bar here on the NASDAQ, and the same thing on the Russell. Now the Russell is even a little bit more bearish in terms of it is a complete engulfing bar of Friday's action, or Tuesday's action. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so of Tuesday's action. So that's kind of a little more bearish look to the reversal that they had going on. Let's take a look at, let's go to the indicators real quick. Short-term trading index, it closed today at 1.65, but the 10-day is still right in the middle, this blue line, the 10-day average of the short-term trading index. So we're not getting extreme reading. And again, by extreme, I mean the blue line getting above the green or below the red, like it did down here. And the next one is the VIX. Everybody talked about how the VIX, everybody was publishing, how many days in a row we had over a 10% drop each day, and, all that stuff. And, it's great. And then, we had like a up 13% move today. And look how this is it looks like an outside up engulfing bar. So that looks pretty bullish, kind of like this type of bar here. And I'm sure we could go back and find several more. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is a signal that looks like the VIX wants to go higher. If the VIX wants to go higher and the blue line is still above the red line, okay, DI minus or DI plus is still greater than DI minus. So if the VIX wants to go higher, then the market's going to continue to go down. Let's see. The next one is the high-low index. And we didn't get much movement. There's 73 more new highs than new lows, so slightly more than yesterday. We almost could be forming a little bit of an M top here. If we break down, we'll kind of get that type of look to it. And you can find those or versions of them all along the line. So we're not really getting a signal other than the moving averages across here to the upside. So again, we'll have to look to see what I'm expecting. If we come down here and retest, once we get this fifth wave down, then I'm expecting again another kind of a up, down, up, sideways action before the next move down. So again, we'll have to continue to watch waves and just monitor it, because we're getting a series of completed 5 waves once we get this fifth wave down. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we get that, that will complete this number 3. Okay, then we'll have a little black 3 down here, just like we had this red 3. Okay, then we need a black 4 and a black 5 to complete 3 here on this wave. So we got a series of waves that, that's why this lined up with 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's why it lined up and looked like pretty powerful to the downside. But again, we got to continue to get the wave count that reinforces that scenario. So that's what we're working under, and we'll continue to monitor it closely. Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at is, let's look at the German DAX real quick. Last few days, of course, with our markets, the way the markets snap back, so did Germany. Got a little bit of a doji bar sitting up here now. It's back above this neckline, and we'll be watching this to see, is that kind of a pause type thing, and it reverses back down. Let's see if we're going to see anything else. We still got DI minus greater than DI plus up there. And it basically just pulled back almost to the 50 on the RSI from pretty deep down here, 15 or so, pretty deep oversold. So continue to watch that. Let's take a look at Russia. Russia's kind of doing nothing, going sideways last week or so, consolidating. Let's say it's consolidating. This looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders consolidation formation. We'll see if that's what we get out of this, but it's got to break down through this trend line for us to see anything. The next one is India. India again has been pulling back here in a fourth wave. I'm not sure that this is completed because I don't think it went deep enough. So this could be, again, it's just part of a corrective action that we're seeing. I don't think it's getting ready to move higher, but we'll see. And Shanghai index is also pulled back. Now, I'm not sure that we've got a fifth wave up there. This could be part of a fifth wave that we're still doing. This could be like a small minute wave 1 and minute wave 2. We'll have to continue to monitor this. If we start to get the moving averages crossed down to the downside and it keeps rolling over, then that may be it on here. But right now, we're still in a pretty solid uptrend. We're getting higher highs and higher lows so far. That hasn't changed. So right now, the China market, the Shanghai market is continuing to track to the upside. All right, let's take a look at tonight Baidu and CTRP and SINA. Now, Baidu, we've talked about how it's in this it's in this corrective mode here, basically moving sideways. And when you start getting waves like this, I got a real hard time trying to decide, what this is. We may be breaking out to the upside, and I'll just take a look at, let's take a look at this and just draw a little trend line in here, mainly because it broke this trend line. Nice move off of this trend line. This was last Wednesday, so that was a week ago. And that, that's an upward channel that it's in. But again, we are in a fifth intermediate wave as far as I can tell. And 1, 2, strong 3, 4. We may be starting this fifth wave right now and getting that breakout. A couple closes above 10. 10 is rallying up here. The only thing that's a little negative is the way this 21 is down below the 55. So a little wary about that. But again, if you had to sit back and say, well, okay, conservative, what would you be doing? I would still consider this to be in some kind of corrective action until we break out above these highs. I mean, that would be my take. Unless we get, the moving average is a little more aligned and this is all turned before we break in here. So that's my best read on Baidu at the time. C-Trip. C-Trip is also correcting, and it's had 5 waves up. And this is the 5th intermediate wave. Here's the 3rd, here's the 4th, here's the 5th. And so now, we've got to correct 5 intermediate waves. And this kind of move is not going to be doing that. I mean, that may be slightly correcting this wave, but not correcting 5 intermediate waves, which is why this makes me think that this is 5 waves down A. And if you have A, then you're looking at a zigzag that's in the process of formation of playing out. And if you got a zigzag, then that means you're getting a B move, and a B move is going to be probably 3 waves up. So the real question is, how much more do we have to the upside? I mean, if it's 5 waves, the B wave should not go back up here. It probably is going to go somewhere between 50 to 61.8% pullback, back up in here, maybe to the 55. And it may do that as a part of 3 waves. Who knows? But that's just a scenario to keep watching for. So I would guess that we're doing some kind of A, B, and then C coming back down. The next one to take a look at is Cena. I think Cena was trying to pull back up and come back through after it broke through support down here. December 2012 low, it broke down below that. It broke below this point here as it rolled over through this trend line. It came on down. It's starting to get divergence. Okay, you can see the divergence that the indicator did not go to, and right here the DI minus. All these indicators did not confirm this move, this slight move here. Okay, so let me blow that up. So what does that mean? Well, it means, okay, we got a rally off of that, but now all it did was rally back up here to the 21. And the one thing I'm a little bit suspicious about is if we get a close below the 10, I'm going to be suspicious that it's rolling back over. And here's the other thing, look at the volume. Here's the volume of that last little rally. Look how that volume did nothing but drop off. Okay, so when the volume drops off, I blow that up with the price. When that volume drops off while the price is rallying, I don't like that. That's not a good sign. Okay, because it's just not telling me that that's a strong move that it's making back up in here. So I'm going to be watching to see, does it roll back over and close below that 10-day. All right, that's Baidu, C-Trip, Cena. I can never pronounce that correctly. Cena. All right, let's take a look. The other one is Twitter, and I talked about Twitter before. Trade idea, I believe, on Sunday. I think I did on Sunday. Anyway, right now I'm looking for this. You got to close down below here. I'll have the parameters. I'm changing. I've got this as a trade idea on the trade idea webpage. And so I will be modifying the entries to get in there on the trade idea. This looks like a head and shoulders to me. Okay, this looks like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder forming. We break down through this trend line, then we're going to go. We're going to pop. And, you know, we've got this negative divergence on the demand index. You can see it, this DI plus did not even come close to coming up to go to new highs on the rally. And the RSI also did not confirm on this move. So when I see this kind of negative divergence with this move in here and see this kind of setup that's playing out here and the way this looks like it's rolling back down here, this looks like a setup to the downside on Twitter. So we'll have to look at and make sure I'll double check the parameters on the Trade Ideas webpage. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Just click on either any of the subscription boxes on the homepage right below the blog. You know, a little red box on the video. It's easy to do. First name and email, and you get access to the Trade Ideas webpage, and you can download the PDF I've got for you. The other one I was going to mention here is First Solar. First Solar just looks way too much like a flag to me, and the way this came back down and closed below the 10 and broke below this bar that had closed above the 10, this looks negative to me, and so I'm putting out a Trade Ideas on this one too to get into puts. And here's the interesting thing. Now, the only thing that a little bit bothersome is we're down here by this Keltner channel. We've come up off of it, but when you look at it from this perspective, you sit back and say, well, okay, yeah, we had this move and a pretty sharp move here. This could be like a flagpole, and this is an upside down flag that's waving. Well, if that's the case, then we're going to get another break. Okay, we'll get a break at least equal to this flagpole here that'll come on down. You know, who knows where we go. I mean, if that's the case, it could be testing this low, could be lower than that. But that's my suspicion. When I saw this kind of price action, the way this was trading, I thought, this is worth taking a look at and getting into. Now, I haven't looked at a lot of the other stocks in detail yet, so if there's something else, I will put it out there on the Trade Ideas webpage for you to take a look at. So anyway, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Hope you found that beneficial and helpful, and if you did, please share it on social media. And again, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Just click on the little red box here on the screen and you'll be good to go. All right, talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping in.